Hey there guys, Dirty Narcoleptic here. I've been having a difficult time lately with gathering my thoughts and putting them into a video at least. But lately I've been wanting to address the issue of why I believe I'm trans. So I wanted to start with my childhood. I've been a tomboy for as long as I can remember. I've played with boys' toys, I liked to skateboard, I always wanted short hair. I dressed in boys' clothes. I really disliked being in dresses or looking pretty at all, much to the distress of my parents. I don't ever think I realized that gender was such an important thing in society. And even more than that, I don't even ever think that I realized that there was really that much of a difference between boys and girls. I was just me and I did what I liked to do. I didn't really care what anybody else thought. But then came the move. I moved to a different state and I started to live with my sister. And this changed everything. I love and looked up to my sister so much at the time, I was willing to do literally anything to earn her affection and love. So I did the one thing that I kind of thought I would never do, which was try my goddamn hardest to be a girl. And the thing that's been confusing me for a while is that, not that I liked it, but I didn't exactly mind it either. But what I'm worried about is that this is not so much a realization as something as a change of pace in my life to make me feel like I have some sort of control. Had I never had the phase where I was actually trying to be anything like a girl, I wouldn't be questioning my gender identity so much now. It's actually very distressing. There's also the issue of me coming out recently to my mother in particular. It turns out I actually came out to her before. The last time I told her that I was a boy, she said she already knew that, and that it wasn't any surprise to her. I thought she was just super intuitive, but it turns out that I had told her before, just before my 16th birthday party. That's also disconcerting, because it seems like I kind of repressed that memory into the deep bowels of my brain, I suppose. I guess I was trying to be normal for so long, about the length of a year, that I forgot about everything. There are other things, though, like certain events that happened in my childhood. I remember very, very clearly me staying up in the middle of the night talking to myself, like I often do, and wishing that the next morning I could wake up and just be a boy. At the time, I hadn't even developed breasts yet. I didn't know what my body was supposed to look like, but I distinctly remember wanting to wake up and have a dick when I woke up. I'd never even really seen a penis before, so it's weird that I was wishing that I had one. I cried myself to sleep about that. I didn't really understand what that was about. I just kind of thought that that was the way that I felt inside, but I knew that the next morning I wouldn't wake up the way I felt in my head. Another thing that confused me for a very long time, before I became more informed about trans issues, is the fact that I would be considered a gay trans man, although I more identify as a queer trans man because I'm open to all identities, and I love everybody, kind of equally. Anybody who will date me, I'll date. But I never thought that I could be a man, if that ever even crossed my mind, just because I liked boys. And why would anyone, like the heteronormative question would come about, why would any girl want to be a man if she loves boys? Wouldn't it be easier just to stay a girl? Blah, blah, blah. Of course it is, but that's not how it works. And I've hated that my family has asked me this question before too. There's a lot of other stuff, but maybe that's for another video. Hopefully my very dominant trait of indecisiveness doesn't affect my status as a trans person too much, because I think this is something that I really need, but I just can't decide if it's worth it, because I've had a taste of what it's like to be considered normal in the eyes of society, and I'm also very confused. But the thing about this is that it's very normal to feel this way. This is a big decision, and it really shouldn't be taken lightly.